On the news, Nigeria's COVID-19 toll exceeds 7,000 as the NCDC reports 339 new cases. Worsening COVID-19 impact threatens Nigeria's economic stability. And dozens here dead as Pakistani plane crash lands on residential area. Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. We'll begin with the latest in Nigeria's COVID-19 pandemic. Confirmed cases of the virus is fast rising, with the country's toll now above the 7,000 mark. This follows the verification of 339 new cases on Thursday. A research done on this station shows that within the last 1 month, Nigeria has confirmed over 6,000 cases of COVID-19 across several states in the country. Now, data from the National Center for Disease Control, NCDC, says as at April 20th, Nigeria had only 665 confirmed cases of COVID-19. But that number has moved past the 6,000 mark to 6,667 on May 20th. As of Thursday, May 1st, Nigeria had a total of 7,016 confirmed COVID-19 cases across 34 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The number of discharged patients has also increased to 1,907, while the total number of fatalities have moved from 200 to 211 in the past 24 hours. Let's now move to Kaduna State, where Governor Nasir El-Rufai has announced that of the 18 new cases of COVID-19 confirmed in the state, 10 were members of the same family. El-Rufai in a tweet said the new case was recorded in 4 local government areas of Kaduna, via Kaduna North, Zaria, Chikun and Sabongari local government area. The governor has now appealed to residents to adhere strictly to safety measures put in place to check the spread of the virus. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control on Thursday announced that 339 new cases of the viral infection have been recorded in the country. Of the new cases, 18 were recorded in Kaduna. Still in Kaduna State, Governor Nasir El-Rufai has responded to the strike notice served by health workers in the state. In a statement on Thursday night by his special advisor on media and communications, Muyiwa Adekeyi, El-Rufai said medical doctors and other health workers threatening to embark on industrial action in the state are at a risk of losing their jobs. He described the strike action as blackmail to coerce the state into excluding health workers from the mandatory donation of 25% salary by all civil servants to fund the provision of palliatives for vulnerable people impacted by the lockdown. El-Rufai also added that his administration would keep the health facilities in the state running and protect workers who are willing to work. President Muhammadu Buhari has cancelled this year's Salah homage to him by the Muslim faithful at the presidential villa in Abuja. The president also announced that he and his family members would be observing the Eid prayers at home. Buhari explained that his decision was based on a directive of the Sultan of Sokoto and President General of the Jamaatul Nasirul Islam Saad Abubakar III to suspend Eid congregational prayers across the country and comply with the protocol against mass gathering issued by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, vulnerable residents of the Federal Capital Territory have a reason to smile following the distribution of palliatives to 6 area councils. The relief items distributed by the FCT administration is aimed at cushioning the harsh impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the less privileged. Tunji Oye now reports.
12 trucks of palliative, 6 for rice and 6 for condiments. That is what the Minister of State, FCT, is handing over to the 6 area councils of the Federal Capital Territory. This is the 3rd phase of palliative being done by the FCT administration to the vulnerable living in the FCT. Ramatu Tijani Aliu, the Minister of State for FCT, is the woman that is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring the smooth distribution of palliatives to the people. She did not miss word in charging the chairman of the area councils to be fair and transparent in the distribution. The contents of the truck were also inspected by the minister.
As you all know, Salah is just Saturday. All the truck drivers are holding us ransom. They want to go back to Kano or wherever they came from to their families. We only got about 12 trailers to agree to, this distribution. But at least we know that 3,000 in each area council, 3,000 bags of rice and 3,000 bags of condiment will go a long way to cushion, the festivity and make it a happy one for them. Others will be completed later. So we have the civil society organization and all the other groups. But still, this time around, priority is given to the civil society organization. They have reinforced now to ensure that they monitor. Bring your rice.
This gesture is merely titled, Putting Hope for the Hopeless. It is timely in the sense that this is the most critical period where our vulnerable groups in our society mostly need these palliatives. It will go a long way in putting hope and believing that they are part and parcel of Nigerians.
Ensuring these palliatives get to the vulnerable is another challenge, and the civil society group said they are ready to do the job.
The area council chairmen have heard, and with the fear of God, this time around, they are going to do that which has been agreed to be done. The presence of civil society here is not to tarnish anybody's image, but we represent the people. We are the voice of the people and the voiceless in the society. And we are here to make sure that that which government says they will do for the people is being done.
Because so far, from what we've heard over the last few, there have been lapses some places, but they've been able to see those lapses and been able to see how we can correct them. So we are hopeful that this badge is going to go more successful than the last badge, actually. So we are hoping that we're going to do something good.
If at the end of COVID-19, the only thing we achieve is a comprehensive database of all vulnerable people in FCT, we would have achieved a milestone.
With these trucks, residents of Abuja in the 6 area councils will surely be smiling in the next few days. From Abuja, Tunji Oye, TV360 News.
Let's now look at some of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Nigeria's economy is heading towards a recession due to the negative impact of COVID-19 on crude oil prices. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, announced this on Thursday after a meeting of the National Economic Council. She said falling crude prices has impacted on the Federation's revenues and foreign exchange earnings. Ahmed, however, announced that the World Bank has a proposal of $1.5 billion to states as part of the economic stimulus to cushion the effect of the pandemic.
The World Bank Country Director spoke to the meeting in respect of their assessment of the impact of COVID-19 on the economy and also their review of the measures that government have taken. And as you know, some of these measures already include the $500 billion that the President has approved to support healthcare facilities and provide relief to taxpayers, as well as incentives that will be provided to employers to retain and recruit staff during the lockdown period. The President, this package also includes the increase in the social register by 1 million households to 3.5 million for cash transfer programs and palliatives and other social safety net programs. The World Bank maintains that the COVID-19 on Nigeria, the impact of the COVID-19 in Nigeria will lead to severe amplified human and economic cost, which will move the country into a recession. The World Bank planned a proposed support package for immediate fiscal relief for the federal government. This will also involve policy-based budget support for the federal government, focusing on measures to maintain macro financial stability and create fiscal space for stimulus. The World Bank package has also got a proposal of $1.5 billion for the states, and this package will be dedicated to the states, and it will be a program for results for which the states are already used to implementing.
Meanwhile, the Lagos state government has commenced a downward review of the year 2020 budget as a result of the negative economic and social effects of coronavirus pandemic. The Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget in Lagos, Sam Igwe, disclosed this on Thursday, noting that the review was approved by the State Executive Council. He explained that the process aims to reduce the 1.168 trillion naira budget approved by the Lagos State House of Assembly to 920.5 billion naira. The Commissioner pointed out that the negative effect of the fall in crude oil prices on statutory allocation expectations, the downward pressure on internally generated revenue, devaluation of the naira, reduced public and private investment, and increased inflation rate as reasons for the overhaul of the projected figures of the 2020 budget. Traders in Kano's pharmaceutical market in northwest Nigeria are crying out over the adverse effect of the coronavirus on their businesses. They say the pandemic is not just affecting their pockets, but also the health of those in dire need of drugs that are fast running out. This next report has more. It's the third largest pharmaceutical market in Nigeria and the port of call for drug retailers in sub-Saharan Africa. Whatever the ailment, you're almost sure to find an antidote at this market. About 80% of medicines here are imported from Asia. This means lesser supply to the market due to the coronavirus pandemic and a global lockdown, a situation the traders are really worried about.
Presently, because of the situation of the coronavirus, we have been having some challenges. People that are coming to buy to our places from other countries are now able to come, for the simple fact that everybody now is having the fear of the coronavirus. So this is seriously affecting our businesses. Even our people going out to bring the goods are also having some fears in them. There is restriction of movement, and that is why we are negatively affected. And we feel this is more or less may end up bringing even shortages of pharmaceutical supplies, because most of the drugs are sourced outside, and with these challenges in China, in India, and some other countries, it may end up bringing shortages in pharmaceutical supply.
The economic implication of this is that some pharmaceutical suppliers are making quick gains by inflating prices of drugs and protective gear.
First month that we used to sell 23,000 naira, it ended up going up to 100,000 naira because of the shortage in supply. The normal market trend is that if there is shortage in supply, the prices go up. So because of that, things are just going up like that, which nobody is happy about what is happening.
The lockdown has caused a drastic reduction in trade activities at the market, as buyers from neighboring countries have not been able to access the market. But what's more troubling is the interruption in the supply chain, which could have a catastrophic consequence in a region of the country where COVID-19 cases are rising very fast.
Next thing to be done is to, for the government to encourage our, indigenous companies, to encourage our indigenous companies, even the marketers, to encourage them, even if they are responsible of giving them loan. It is good now. Yes, if the Nigerian government didn't give us any encouragement or reinforcement, people must stop up.
The coronavirus pandemic is not just taking its toll on Kano's 50-year-old pharmaceutical market. It's also revealing a deeper health infrastructural challenge that begs for attention in Nigeria. Anetta Felix, TV360, Nigeria. 6 people have tested positive for COVID-19 after Premier League clubs had their players tested for the disease. On Sunday and Monday, Premier League tested 748 players and club staff for COVID-19 as part of the league's partnership with the Prenitz Consortium. On Friday, they confirmed that the results of 6 individuals tested positive for COVID-19. The Premier League say they are providing the information for the purposes of competition integrity and transparency. You're still watching news now on TV360 Nigeria. We'll be right back with business news after this.
James, I don't know. You know the answer your call. This. Hello.
Is this Mr. Peter? I'm calling from the NCDC. Your friend, Mr. James Okripocha, was brought in this morning and tested positive for the coronavirus. He mentioned that he had been in close contact with you.
God forbid bad thing.
I am not saying that you have the virus, but you have spent some time with him over the past 14 days, and it is better if you self-isolate immediately.
I don't know any James at all. Even only James in the Bible that I know as a good Christian.
Sir, he showed us pictures.
Now, wow, if you have come in contact with someone who has tested positive for the coronavirus, self-isolating is key to protecting those around you. Remember, viruses don't move, people do. Stopping the spread is in your hands.
This message is from the Akinfade Foundation in partnership with the National Orientation Agency with support from MacArthur Foundation.
On TV360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
The Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgments so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country. I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly. God forbid that I go to join that
TV360, providing clarity to issues.
The Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation, hit a two-year high in April to stand at 12.34%. The last time inflation was in this region was in April 2018, when it stood at 12.48%. The April 2020 inflation figure is 0.08 percentage points higher than the 12.26% recorded in March. The report released by the National Bureau of Statistics on Thursday showed that month-on-month basis, the headline index increased by 1.02% in April 2020. This is 0.18% higher than the rate recorded in March 2020. The urban inflation rate also increased by 13.01% year-on-year in April from 12.93% recorded in March, while the rural inflation rate increased by 11.73% in April from 11.64% in March. A high court in London has ruled that the $1 billion case against oil giants Shell and Eni over the Malibu oil deal cannot proceed. The High Court Judge Christopher Butcher is reported to have held that the court does not have jurisdiction to hear the matter, which has a parallel proceeding in Italy, also brought by the Nigerian government over the Malibu deal. This was what formed the basis on which Shell and Eni had moved to stop or stay proceedings in the $1 billion lawsuit in the UK during virtual hearings of the case. Both companies argued that the case in the UK courts was a duplication of the ongoing criminal trial and a parallel civil claim brought by Nigeria in Italy over the same matter. Nigeria had sued Shell and Eni for $1.1 billion in 2011 over the licensing of OML 245, which the nation claims the said companies made it miss as a result of the bribes they paid to Malibu Oil, owned by former Minister of Petroleum, Dan Etete. The federal government has threatened to prosecute citizens refusing to pay tax on their properties in foreign countries. The Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, who revealed this further, stated that any bank or intermediary that helped a Nigerian citizen to shield such properties would pay a fine, which is the equivalent of the cost of the property. Malami said this in a statement signed by his spokesman, Umar Gwandu, on Thursday. The order, which operates through the Voluntary Offshore Assets Regularization Scheme, is targeted at Nigerian citizens residents in Nigeria but own properties in foreign jurisdictions. The federal government has declared Monday 25th and Tuesday, May 26, 2020 as public holidays to mark this year's Eid al-Fitr celebration. Minister of Interior Rauf Aribishala, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, congratulated all Muslim faithful for the successful completion of the Ramadan fast. Aribishala called on them to replicate the life of kindness, love, tolerance, peace, and good neighborliness as exemplified by the Holy Prophet Muhammad. He also expressed his concern about the spate of ethnic conflict that has resurfaced in some parts of northern Nigeria in recent times. He advised Nigerians to see themselves as a single entity and thus learn to celebrate one another despite their ethnic and religious differences. The Minister for the State assured Nigerians that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is fully committed to battling the scourge of COVID-19 with the cooperation of all Nigerians. You're still watching news now on TV360 Nigeria. We'll be right back with business stories after this.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
You're welcome back. Here's Fidaya Aguncha for updates on the MPC meeting.
Thank you very much, Annetta. The May 2020 meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, of the Central Bank of Nigeria will now hold on Thursday, May 28. This is due to the Eid al-Fitr celebration. The meeting was earlier scheduled to hold on Monday and Tuesday, May 25th and 26th. A statement signed by Isaac Okorafor, Director of CBN Corporate Communications, revealed that the usual two-day meeting will now hold for just a day. The committee holds its meeting once in 3 months to determine the baseline interest rate for the economy. We will now shift focus to the stock markets after this break. It's been a very bullish trading week for investors at the NSE thanks to renewed and sustained interest on oil and gas as well as industrial goods equities. At the start of the week, the oil share index stood at 23,872 basis points, but this chart right here shows that it has risen by over 1,200 points. The market cap, on the other hand, began trading this week at 12,441 basis points, but it is closing the week at 13.132 trillion, which is a boost of more than 100 billion naira. Well, let's now see the equities making this gain happen, buoyed by rising oil prices. The oil and gas sector posted the biggest gains today, and it's not surprising that Mobil is sitting right here on this spot, which is the #1 spot on the gainers chart, just like it did yesterday. It's rising by close to 20 naira today. Now that's massive, and its share value is currently standing at 213 naira. MTN is the second biggest gainer for today, followed by BUA Cement and Nigeria Brewers. But on the flip side, we see that it wasn't much of a good day for Stanbic IBTC, Caverton PLC, and Guarantee Trust Bank, as well as First Bank of Nigeria Holdings. Now, these equities from the banking sector are dropping despite the banking indices closing positive today. Well, let's now look at the market summary. Over 259.5 million shares were traded in 5,605 deals, and were all valued in 2.88 billion naira. Now, this is a drop from what we saw yesterday when the market activity came in higher than what we're seeing today. But on the global scene, it's still negative right there. FTSE, Dow, and Nikkei are falling for a second consecutive day, buoyed by concerns of investors on the worsening COVID-19 pandemic in those regions. That's it from the world of business. It's back to Aneta Felix.
Thanks for the updates. And on the foreign scene, a Pakistan International Airlines Airbus A320 flying from Lahore has crashed in the densely populated Model Colony residential area of Karachi. The plane carried 91 passengers and 8 crew crashed on approach to the busy Jinnah International Airport. The Provincial Health Ministry said at least 11 people had died, but a far higher toll is feared. At least 2 passengers are confirmed survivors. The pilot had reported loss of engines and then issued a mayday, but is yet to be confirmed what actually caused the crash. Secretary General of the Nigerian Para-Powerlifting Federation, Dapo Akinyele, has expressed sadness over the 4-year ban handed to Esther Oyema by the International Paralympics Committee. The 38-year-old Paralympic gold medalist was banned after testing positive to a prohibited substance found in her urine sample test collected in January 2019. The NPPF, however, insists that the ban will not affect Nigeria's chances at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games. Akinyele explained that preparations for the Games started in 2017, and Oyema had already been dropped from the team since she tested positive in 2019. And that's it on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. Thank you for watching.